With the lower participation, that translates to a lower annualized average return over the 10-year window. The participation rate is very simple to understand. A lot of people get confused by it. All it means is of the actual index's performance for that 1 year in time, how much do you participate in? So if the index went up 10% in that 1 year, you would participate in 87% of that growth. Or in other words, you would receive 8.7% interest credited to your contract on that first anniversary. If we pull up the non-bonus version, we're now going to see how that higher participation, because there's no bonus on this product, so they're giving you more participation, how that translates to a higher average annualized return over the same exact 10-year period. So again, using the same 1 year point to point with the NASDAQ fast convergence, you're getting a higher growth potential long-term because of the higher participation. And we see this across every product. So you'll notice the next, crediting strategy, again, lesser return. This is substantial too. In the back test, this is what, a 3%, almost a 3% difference in annualized return. So
if you move that over to the left a little bit, then you can compare the
here
average 10-year return. There you go. And it's equal across the board there.
Yeah, that's a great call out. So, it's a 3% average difference per year in the scenario. Again, this is a simulation. This is not guaranteed to ever happen, but it is something to show you the proof that bonus products are not a good deal. And just to clarify, the only time a bonus product can be utilized in the right way is if you're trying to get out of a bad annuity contract and there's a lofty surrender penalty and you want to offset that surrender penalty loss. A bonus product is really good at doing that. So if you had a surrender penalty of, 10%, if you use that bonus product with the 13% bonus, you're still net positive 3% after coming out of that bad contract. So in those cases, that's the only time we'll use a bonus annuity. Other than that, it's a bad deal.
Yeah, and we've seen that with maybe older contracts where at the time it was purchased, the market depicted a lower return from that index or lower caps, lower participation rates. So oftentimes we're seeing in the current market today that the current market is producing a much better return or much better potential return because of higher participation rates or higher caps. I think one key point that I wanted to mention on what you had just shown is not only do we consider that there was a bonus in the comparison and how much of a loss there was on the growth, but also comparing, and I think we'll see this on the one you're searching for now, but a 7-year versus a 10-year. So oftentimes we'll see these bonuses appear on a 10-year option, meaning that that's a 10-year surrender period. Meanwhile, we're seeing a better performance on a shorter surrender period of 7 years as opposed to 10.
What am I doing wrong here?
There's
7. Yep. Okay, I got it. So, all right, here we go. So this is another carrier security benefit, another fairly popular growth-focused fixed indexed annuity, 14% bonus. Pretty big bonus. That sounds great, right, Zach? 14% on your money. I love it. It sounds awesome. And guess what? So does the annuity salesperson that's pitching it to you because it's easy to talk about. And let's take a look side by side. So again, to show, I'm going to move it to the right here. This is the Strategic Growth 7 annuity that has no bonus. Look at the difference in the participation. 55% on the bonus version, 80% in the non-bonus version. How does that compare to the annualized back test? It's substantial. It's almost 3.5% here. 11.42 versus 7.95. So again, bonus products are not a good deal.
Not only that, but again, the point that I just mentioned, here you are looking at a 7-year product, a shorter surrender window with a better return.
Yeah, so you have lesser time commitment, which is great, and you have more growth potential. And this is the product that they should be positioning to you. if the strategic growth annuity is the right one. And the way we evaluate the equation there is, does it have good indexes? And so the way we do that is going into our real performance analyzer, the real data, the real-time performance. And that's what we really specialize in. So the question becomes, we have a grading philosophy. The growth annuity should have a minimum of 3, but preferably 4 or more proven, strong index crediting strategies. It should also have, a lot of kind of diversification opportunity amongst those 3 or 4 index crediting strategies. You don't want them all to be correlated to the same asset class, because then they're all going to perform relatively similar, and you're going to have a 0 when that asset class has a bad year across the board. We want to try to diversify enough to where, hey, we had 2 strategies that were uncorrelated to the other 2. And in an odd year where 2 of the index strategies didn't do well, the other 2 did. And then you still get some sort of interest credited in that year. And one of the things I say is, we're ultimately trying to avoid a 0 in any crediting period. And why is that important? Because it's hard to compound 0. You can't compound 0. Simple as that. So, when we come to the table, we're going to show you the entire marketplace. If we're evaluating indexes, we're going to show you exactly what to look at and what to consider. These are all of the indexes available in these fixed indexed annuities. At the time of this recording, there's 164 of them. These are just the raw returns, the real returns, the raw returns, not including the participation. And we're going to evaluate them for you. And we reverse engineer it. We find the best indexes first based on real performance. And then we find the annuity that offers that index. Super simple.
Right.
Then we go through another step, and that is, okay, it has this index, but does it have any other ones that are available? Because again, we want to have a blend and an optionality of multiple indexes so that we can be agile as we move through the contract, since it's a long-term vehicle.
Right. And that's part of our ongoing relationship that we have, part of our annuity assurance process, and that we're going to continue that relationship with you, making sure that we're allocated to the right index options, making the right choices in the future. Not just, this is, again, I can't reiterate this is enough. This is not a one-time sale. This needs to be managed regularly. So there's with the software that we use and the information that we provide, the education we provide, there's no education. It's not a sales tactic. You can see from what we've shown you, this is pure raw data.
It's real, and it's no BS. And that's really what we're adamant about is, helping you ultimately avoid the mistake that 99% of annuity buyers make. Yep. And we do that by using the right tools, working in an unbiased environment, and helping you make smart, informed decisions backed by real data. And that all comes down to our core value, right, Zach?
Yeah. Yeah. When it's coming down to mainly is trust. And we're building that trust through transparency. So we're providing the information for you. Ask any question you want. We have nothing to hold back. We're providing all the information.
The other thing too, working with us, is that maybe the advisor you're working with made a good recommendation, and you come to us and you tell us what they offered. We can help you back that up too and say, yeah, that was the right suggestion. That was the right recommendation. They did a good job. Yep. We're not going to win every deal when we don't expect to. What we do want to do is help you validate that you're making the right decision, whether that's with us or without it.
Yep.
So with that being said, anything else that we missed?
No, I think that was a great topic. I know we've had this come up before. So I thought it was really important that we present this and share it.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm really happy we got this one done. I think it was a very valuable episode that we covered a lot of real-time facts about the wrongs of our industry, which we're passionate about changing. So if you're interested in working with us and helping you make a better annuity buying decision, You can do that by requesting your free annuity rates report. Right down here below this video in the description, there's going to be a unique link that you can follow to request that free report. And that is for us to start our relationship on the right foot. And that's with transparency. So you're going to be taken through a series of qualifying questions to understand what your objectives are for that annuity. And then we're going to custom curate a report tailored to your specific needs to show you the facts, to show you the rankings chronologically, highest to lowest of what annuities you should be considering to compare in order to make a really good decision.